Imagine for a moment that you possess a hidden reservoir of energy, a literal life force tucked away in your biology that, if guarded carefully, could grant you laser focus, newfound confidence, and the physical prowess of an ancient warrior. For centuries, across different cultures and internet forums, people have whispered about the magic of abstinence. In modern times, this has manifested as a massive online movement. Proponents claim that by simply stopping, by quitting the act of self-pleasure, you can rewire your brain, skyrocket your testosterone, and even attract others through some sort of biological magnetism. It sounds like a cheat code for life, but here's the thing: human biology is rarely that simple. In reality, the story of what happens when you stop masturbating isn't just about willpower or superpowers. It's a journey through the microscopic factories of your endocrine system, the high-speed signaling of your brain's reward circuitry, and the evolutionary history of our species. So what actually happens to your body and mind when you decide to go cold turkey? Is it a revolutionary health hack or just a very frustrated biological misunderstanding? Let's zoom in. To understand what happens when we stop, we first need to look at what's happening when we're in business. Inside the human body, there is a specialized production line that never sleeps. Let's meet the testes. From a biological perspective, they are essentially high-efficiency chemical plants. Every single second, they produce about 1,500 sperm cells. That's roughly 100 million per day. Whether you are sleeping, eating a sandwich, or watching a documentary about space, the factory is running 24/7. When you masturbate, you are essentially clearing the warehouse. The brain sends a signal, the nervous system ramps up, and in a burst of coordinated muscular contractions, the inventory is shipped out. But what happens if the shipments stop? Imagine a warehouse where the delivery trucks just stop showing up, but the assembly line keeps running at full speed. Do the walls eventually burst? Does the sperm start backing up into your bloodstream and turn you into a muscular genius? It turns out the body has a much more boring solution. Sperm cells have a shelf life. If they aren't exported, they eventually get old and lose their structural integrity. When this happens, the body simply breaks them down and reabsorbs the components, mostly proteins and fats, back into the system. It's the ultimate form of biological recycling. However, sometimes the warehouse gets a bit too crowded. This is where things get interesting. The body has a pressure relief valve known as a nocturnal emission, or more commonly, a wet dream. While you sleep, your brain and body coordinate a system flush to clear out the old stock and make room for the new. So, physically, your body doesn't overload. You don't become a ticking biological time bomb. Your internal plumbing is perfectly capable of managing the inventory on its own.
The biggest claim made by those who stop masturbating is that it causes a massive permanent spike in testosterone. Testosterone is the hormone responsible for muscle growth, bone density, and libido. In our cultural imagination, more testosterone equals more alpha energy. So, does stopping give you a permanent boost? In 2003, a famous study looked at exactly this. Researchers found that after about 6 to 7 days of abstinence, there was indeed a significant spike in testosterone levels, reaching about 145% of the baseline. If you stop there, it sounds like a miracle. But if we look at day 8, 9, and 10, the levels drop right back down to where they started. In reality, your body is a master of homeostasis. It likes balance. While short-term abstinence can cause a temporary blip in your hormones, your endocrine system quickly adjusts to find its new normal. But hormones aren't just about testosterone. There's another player in this game: dopamine.
To understand the psychological side, we have to talk about how we're wired. Evolution has one main goal: survival of the species. To ensure we keep reproducing, evolution made the act of sexual release feel, well, incredible. When you masturbate, your brain's reward system, the ventral tegmental area, floods your synapses with dopamine. It's a chemical high five telling your brain, "Great job, do that again sometime." In the modern world, however, we've found a way to hack this system. With the advent of high-speed internet and endless variety, some people find themselves engaging in a dopamine feedback loop that the human brain wasn't originally designed to handle. When you suddenly stop, your brain goes into a bit of a shock. Imagine for a moment that your brain is a crowded party. Usually, the dopamine music is playing at a reasonable volume. But if you've been cranking the volume daily for years, your brain's ears, the receptors, start to get desensitized. They put on earplugs to protect themselves. When you stop masturbating, you effectively turn off the music, but the earplugs, the desensitized receptors, stay in for a while. This can lead to a period of flatlining, a few weeks where you feel bored, sluggish, or even depressed. This is where the superpower myth comes from. If you make it through this quiet period, your brain eventually takes the earplugs out. Suddenly, the quiet music of everyday life, a sunset, a good conversation, a tasty meal, starts to sound loud and beautiful again. It's not that you've gained superpowers, it's that you've regained your baseline sensitivity to joy.
Now, we have to look at the potential downsides, because as it turns out, flushing the pipes might actually serve a health purpose. Several large-scale studies, including one by Harvard University, have suggested a link between frequent ejaculation and a lower risk of prostate cancer. Why would this be? Scientists have a few theories. The toxin hypothesis. The prostate gland secretes a fluid that makes up a large part of semen. Some researchers believe that frequent flushing prevents the buildup of potentially carcinogenic secretions or minerals in the gland. The cellular stress hypothesis. Regular activity might keep the cells in the prostate well-trained and healthy, preventing them from turning rogue. While the data isn't 100% conclusive, the trend suggests that for long-term health, clearing the warehouse every now and then is actually a good thing for the body.
So, if the science says the testosterone boost is temporary and the superpowers are just your brain returning to normal, why do so many people swear that stopping changed their lives? This is where things get complicated and very human. We are narrative-driven creatures. When we set a difficult goal, like a 90-day challenge of abstinence, and we succeed, our brain rewards us with a massive sense of agency. For many, the act of masturbating is linked to feelings of guilt, shame, or a lack of self-control. By stopping, they aren't just changing their biology, they are changing their self-identity. They feel like the captain of their own ship again. This psychological boost is incredibly real. If you believe that stopping will make you more confident, you will likely act more confident. And if you act more confident, the world treats you differently. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The superpower isn't in the semen, it's in the discipline.
So, what happens if you stop masturbating? In the short term, your testosterone blips, your brain gets confused, and your body starts a recycling program for its microscopic factory workers. In the long term, you might find a bit more mental clarity if you were overdoing it, but you might also be missing out on some minor health benefits for your prostate. It turns out, masturbation is neither a demonic energy drainer nor a mandatory daily chore. It is a natural biological function that, like almost everything in life, is best managed with balance. We live in a world of extremes, where one side tells you it's a sin and the other tells you it's a daily requirement. But in reality, your body is an incredibly resilient system. Whether you choose to indulge or abstain, your biology will keep chugging along, doing its best to keep you alive and functioning. The real superpower isn't found in a no-fap counter or a specific habit. It's found in understanding how your own body works, listening to what it needs, and being kind to yourself as you navigate the strange, complex, and often hilarious experience of being a human. After all, we're just a collection of stardust and hormones trying to figure it all out on a tiny blue rock. And that, in itself, is pretty wonderful.